and I'm here with Lee Hardcastle, who is like claymation expert supremo, and also, of course, he's done T for Toilet in the ABCs of Death. Lee. Now, I want to go right from the word go. How did you get involved in it? Were you a claymation fan? What sparked it for you? What did you watch?
To be honest, I'm not a big fan of claymation. When I was a child, I absolutely loved Wallace and Gromit. In terms of claymation and what I do, I think that's one of the biggest inspirations that inspired me to do work with clay, because as well Will Vinton, Comic Quest, those sort of films that they hit me when I was a young boy, like, and the quality of clay is just really funny. There's something funny about it. It's a gimmick. It's a really gimmicky. It's really lovely to look at on video, and to imagine that someone sculpted that with his hands and is manipulating it with his hands. You can see the mechanics while you're watching the film. So that's what I like about claymation, but I'm not a big fan of stop motion or claymation. Like,
so you weren't like a Harryhausen
exactly
fan.
I've never been a fan of his work, even though he's the most respected special effects stop motion guy in cinema history. Just got into claymation.
Are you self-taught then? I mean, what did you start with?
Yeah, self-taught.
Like Play-Doh or something like that?
Well, I'll tell you, there's Wallace and Gromit, but the biggest of them all was stuff like You've Been Framed, where people just pick up a camera and film stuff. That opened the possibilities that you can film stuff. And then the Adam and Joe show.
All right.
That really sparked me. That just really made it possible to make stuff in your bedroom, which is all I wanted to do. And one evening, while I was at film school, because I went to film school from age 18 to 21, I was shooting a lot of live action stuff, but the problem was I couldn't get any of my projects made because I couldn't get enough people involved on my ideas. I'm really good at pitching ideas, getting them across and getting people involved. And so one evening I started experimenting with action figures, just like Adam and Joe. And I was really amazed with the results that came out of it. And I was like, wow, I did that all by myself. So I showed this video that I made, just G.I. Joes marching along, shooting people in the face. I showed that to my tutors, and I asked them if I could do something like this for my final graduation project, and they said, yeah, go for it. So that's when I made my first ever claymation. A short film called Stories from the Haunted Hospital next to the... No, Stories from the Hotel next to the Haunted Hospital.
Did you find it easy to do that? I mean, did you literally take it like a duck to water?
Yeah,
you just found it remarkably easy to sculpt and do everything?
Yeah, I remember when I made that action figure animation, I showed my housemate at the time, and we were a film student. I was like, wow, I think I've found my muse. Something's re-sparked here that I really like.
And what do you choose from? I mean, do you choose the easiest option? Because when you go through what you've actually done, you know, everything from Shaun of the Dead to The Raid you mentioned. I mean, do you pick, well, that's a different version because you're actually asked to do that. But when you're actually going to do something yourself, what actually is it that you look for that you know you could be able to achieve as well as you can in that method?
It's always a very daunting task before I start any production. I'm just really scared of what I can actually achieve. To be honest, like the Raid job was a commission job from Momentum, and they introduced me to the film The Raid. I sat there, I watched it, and they says, what can you do? And I was like, oh no, I'm gonna have to make something that's worth the money that they're paying me, and I'm not feeling too confident. And I was like, I'll do my best. But as long as you've got sellotape and cardboard and plasticine, then the possibilities are there for you to crack on. And
you use the same explosions over and over and over again, don't you?
My recent video, Die Hard,
I watched that.
I got like that were a first for me, like sticking in them explosions.
Oh right.
I was kind of like taking the piss a little bit, saying like, you know, it's done in post-production, but explosions, I do them in camera actually, like The Raid. All the muzzle flashes and stuff like that, that's like iron wool, like little strands in
like a sparkler or something.
Yeah, then I set that on fire, and then under a long exposure it burns down and it creates like that.
Oh wow, oh I see, that's really clever. I'd never thought of that. Oh brilliant.
Yes,
do people like what you do? I mean, like, and did Gareth like The Raid? I mean, not that Fox would have seen Die Hard with the Die Hard one, but do they like it in general?
Yeah.
they see it as like affectionate more than just a piss take.
Yeah, I guess so. More like a love letter to these films. I mean, I do poke fun at them. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. And even though I'm poking fun at them, I'm doing it with all my heart. It's not like a spiteful, malicious thing. It's celebrating cinema.
What's your favourite one that you've done out of everything that you've worked on? Have you got a favourite?
My proudest is Tears for Toilet. That's in...
Oh, the ABC's one. Yeah.
Just because of everything behind it, and it won the competition and stuff like that. In terms of parody, I really like my Exorcist and my Eraserhead creations, because I'm a really big fan of Eraserhead. And I feel like I did them films justice, like summing them up in 60 seconds. I'm really proud of them.
So, how did Tea for Toilet come about? Obviously, your work was going to be noticed sooner or later, so that's what happened. The offer just came out of the blue?
Well, it was a competition that the producers held called the 26 Director, because they'd already established the other 25 positions and they're looking for the last man, and they opened it out to the public. They gave the letter T, and people had to make a short film based on a word that began with the letter T. There was a lot of freedom to what you could do, as long as it was like it said on the website they wanted a holy shit factor. There were over 700 entries, and I got through to the final 10 by public vote, and those 10 went forward to the already established directors, and they chose a favourite one, which was Toilet.
And so that was really so in other words, yours is already made and just plonked in, while there's the others, they were still like beavering away and coming later. So yours literally was the first one to be
and that was the only shot that all the directors had seen and knew what were going to be in the film, so that's all they had to compare with. When
you saw that, did Toilet just come straight to you?
I didn't go for Toilet straight away, that came much later on actually, and when Toilet came into my mind, I just thought it was such a perfect word, because it's a beautiful word, is toilet, and T is for toilet. It just sounded right. There was just something there, and I wanted to build a story. Once I realised what word I wanted to use, I built the story around that then.
What word were you thinking of before Toilet?
I came close to doing one called Toad.
Alright.
And I thought it'd be like that scene in Silver Bullet, the werewolf film, where all the angry mob go into the woods and they want to hunt down this toad, and I thought it'd be kind of funny, like this big toad just swallowing these angry people.
So that was soon given the accent. Toilet it was?
Yeah, Toilet came in because I thought Toad were a bit too simple of an idea. I thought there'd be quite a few monster movie entries in the film. I wanted to do something a bit more clever.
It's showtime.
And how much do they vary in cost? And how do you finance them? I mean, you know.
Well, at the moment it's all self-financed. I mean, I've got a company, a limited company, so everything's financed through that. And it's all very low budget. I can.
They were talking like £100 or something.
Yeah, Toilet was actually made for about £100, and that's extravagant compared to my other projects, which are just made out of cardboard and stuff. But I wanted Toilet to have a bit more production value, you know, with it being a competition, and I didn't want it to look like it were made out of cardboard, even though there is elements of cardboard.
But isn't there a slight thing that you actually want it to look like that in a way? Because, do you know what I mean? You don't want to make it too slick, because the whole part of it is actually that it is made out of cereal packets and stuff.
Well, yeah, in a sense, but at the same time, I don't think I will ever actually achieve the perfection of Paranorman and Frankenweenie. I think as long as I do what I do and pump in, you know, try and do my best basically, I think that shines through, that it's a guy who don't have much money and he's working by himself and he's doing his best, and when you see that he's doing his best, that shines through in the film, I think.
Fantastic. I think it's great. Well, well done. I mean, we loved ABC's of Death. I mean, your bit was, you know, really, really good. So, you know, well done.
Thank you.
And, you know, see you at FrightFest again, I'm sure, with something else.
Yeah, I hope.
Thanks a lot.